Okay, everyone. So today we're gonna, and I'm really using this for internal functionality, so it's not too fancy or anything. But um, this we're gonna look at the community portion of our website. Most of these things are available on the phone. They're gonna look a little bit different on the phone, obviously, but they are available, and there's more functionality here than what you probably think. And I think this is a good way for us to work with our teams in the future. Um, because what we've got, if you go to My Preferred, you'll see there's a drop down in the menu now. You can still go down to the over here if you want, but there is a drop down and you go to My Community. And the phone is going to work the same at this point to here. Now things may change because of the screen size. The phone doesn't work real well with projects, at least in my opinion, except in the area of task. But anyways, it brings you to your profile. Now, your profile, you can do a lot to make this look cool, and someday that may be worthwhile. It's probably worthwhile now, but this is your profile. You can change the background of it. You can change the avatar, things along those lines. This is like, think of it as a private Facebook, but it's very, very private. As other companies or people join or start to use the website and stuff like that, the groups that I've created internally for the office are hidden. They can't be found by anybody like outside of us. So, but you can create groups that aren't hidden, and we could have a lot of different groups. And I intend to have groups for different, like everybody who gets trained in a certain area or something along those lines. So I'm hoping this becomes extremely useful. But you can change all kinds of profile settings, account settings, widgets. You can make this a very ornate profile page if you want. That's not really what we're looking at. Here's I probably got a little carried away with my biography, but as you scroll down here, you'll see there are teams, and I've created all the teams. I've invited most of the people to them, but I realize that's not that most people didn't accept the invitations. It lists the last post that you've created to the website. So there's a lot of information and things going on here. Another way to get to what I'm most interested in showing you today is how the groups work. They call them groups, not teams, but it works the same. So basically, I created 6 groups, and it only shows 5 on a page, so there's 2 pages. But Team PIC is everybody. The rest of them are our groups. You'll see if we go to another page, the Funky Flamingos is on the last page. Imagine that, the Funky Flamingos on the oddball page. But anyhow, what I if you go to one of the groups, the home page, it's a lot like a private Facebook page to some degree. If I type a post up here, people in the group will be able to find it. We can upload pictures and a lot of other stuff. You can send messages to people, videos, files, links to things. So they may be useful in us communicating with each other. In and the other thing about this is that I found useful in my situation is somebody has to register on the website for us to make them part of a group, but they don't have to be part of Preferred Insurance Center or have a Salesforce in instance or anything along those lines. So we can work with people outside of, we can form a group and work with people outside of just Preferred Insurance Center and make all these things work. You do that by going to send invites. If you're the manager of the group, you can send invites to people. And again, we can change all kinds of settings on this thing. If you go to manage, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can show different things here. We can say we just want the statuses and quotes. You can filter it by 100 different ways. But what I want to show you today, because I've had the need to use this in the Success Center part, is that under a group, so in other words, think about your team, there's such a thing as a project, as projects. And you can go in here, and when you click on it, and It'll take just a second to load. It's not too bad. It shows we've created one project, okay? But you can create a project and all the members of your group, so in other words, if you get your team members on here, are automatically, you start open a new project, they're automatically part of that project, which is extremely useful, okay? And I'll show you why in a little bit, but we've created one. I'm going to walk you through creating one, a new one from scratch, just so you can see what it's like. So you hit new project, and you basically just need to give it a name, and we'll call it meal plan, because you can tell I'm thinking about food. Decision. Now there are project categories. I don't think you need to get too excited about those. I don't think they're going to matter a whole lot. And sometimes with my computer, tab works a lot better than the anything else. And on some of these, so I have to use the tab key. But you can put a description in there. It's not required. And hit new project, and it's going to take a minute. It's going to create the new project. So now when it shows a list of my projects, it brings up that project. There are a ton of statistics and things. This is a very robust project management system. So I'm going to walk you through some of these things so you can see how they work. But you can go, if you go under settings, what it's going to do is you can create labels. The only ones that I find to be pretty useful actually is I created a label for high priority and medium priority, and selected a color, red, and then I created that label, and I did the same thing for, go to create a new label. I did one for medium, and I won't keep going because I know this is boring, but I go blue. Create that label. And then there's a low, obviously, but you can create lows like this. You can control different capabilities for people, but I think the standard ones are really good. All right. Integrations is something you don't need to worry about. You can make it integrate with a few things, but it's not that big a deal. All right. Now, projects. Oh, you can also edit a project. So you can go in here and change a few things. And there's a settings. This just allows you to delete a project, but again, we hopefully don't have to worry too much about that. But projects, this is very interesting because the overview of the project, again, just shows you some charts with activities and stuff, which it has very little now because it's a brand new project. The activities tab will show you everything that's happening. So you really can go in and look if anybody's working on your project or not, including you. There's discussion. So we can start to talk about this project, and it's going to start discussion threads, and it works a lot like the regular, the discussion, like just like Facebook. You know, if I'm working in or within our community and I type @Andrea, I can send a message directly to Andrea. I can tag her in a comment, all those types of things. It works just like Facebook, but it's 100% private within that group. Okay. Now, this is interesting. There's a task list. Okay. These are tasks for this project. Haven't got any. They would just come listing in here. Now you guys probably know I'm a big fan of this Kanban view. So if you click the Kanban view, it does a good job. It creates the standard columns for you. All right, an open task. It's waiting to be started, but it's not actually started. It just means that sometime we have to get this done. So if we're doing a meal plan thing, I would go research providers. All right. And then I can assign a user. Right now, guess what? That's me. I might be able to look someone up. We'll see. I can put a due date on it. It's very limited to the people who are in the group. And then sometimes you need to add them to the policy. So I'm saying, and actually, once I save this thing, not only can I put a due date on it, I can put a start and finish date on it, which is helpful sometimes because you'll get a reminder to start something. You can create, okay, different lists that you want it to go into, but the normal one is the what they call the inbox. It's just a general list of tasks. Okay, so then that one falls in that column. I can grab this thing and I can move it around. Now I started it. It's in progress. We can assign it to different people, things along those lines. And anyways, so if I click on that date again, no, I have to open it up. Sorry. Open that thing up. Now I can add subtasks to this. I can put descriptions on it. I can change this date. So now I can put a beginning date. Say I want to start it on the 27th and I want to finish it by the 30th. Now what'll happen is it will come up on my list on the 27th and as something that needs to be done. It won't show it overdue till after the 29th. Okay. You can put comments in here. And again, let me look at this because what you can do, let's see once here. Obviously, I've got to work on getting Andrea on this project, but projects can be assigned to more than one person. But you can keep track of what has to be done on a project in here. And now I can do it within Salesforce. And I know you're wondering why we have to do this instead of using Salesforce. But in Salesforce, we can never bring in an outside person. Through here, if I get other people registered and part of this team, then they can be assigned tasks and things along those lines. So it's really extremely important. There's another neat thing about this that I don't think most people, it's a common part of project management, and that is to hit milestones. A milestone is an event, it's an accomplishment. And in a small project, you certainly don't need them. But in a big project, sometimes it's like, hey, making that first sale of this new product, that's a milestone. You know, it could be lots of things, but those milestones, that's what tells you if the project's on time or not. So if you have a project and it has 5 milestones and you have certain dates on them and you make the first one, but then you're 2 weeks behind on the second one and you don't have a plan to catch up, then you're going to be 4 weeks behind on the third one and things like that. So milestones are a big deal. They're very easy to use. You just hit add milestone and give it a name, give it a due date, put a description in it, and you're off to the races. It's that easy. But then it'll tell you when your milestone is approaching. Now, all this seems real good, but you're thinking, oh, I don't want to have to go to another place. What if I'm in 5 projects? Do I have to check 5 projects? No. What you need to do actually is you just go to one place. In other words, if you go under Teamworks and you click on My Projects, what this page does is it looks at all the projects that you're a part of and it lists them all. See, I have other projects going, and this one we just created shows up now here. And now I can manage this project. But what's really cool is I can click on this My Task part, and it takes all the tasks from all the projects and there's these sub tabs in here, so you got to pay attention to that. But like I have 2 outstanding tasks, that means they're overdue. Well, guess what? I did this one and I'm doing this one right now. So you just mark them as completed. But it's not just for one project. It gathers all of them together. It puts them in here by project. And so you see all your tasks that are due for all your projects. And anybody outside the organization can use these just the way we can. So I'm hoping and I'm thinking the group thing is going to be more important as more and more people are out of the office more and more. So I'm hoping that that becomes very useful to us. And the project management, it'll work hand in glove with what we're going to learn with the Alvinilo way. It'll work with that well, and it'll allow us to work with people outside of our organization. And this is something we'll be able to offer to clients if they sign up and they're using our TeamWorks program. They'll also be able to create their projects and invite their people, their teams, and do exactly what we're doing. So that's what I've got for you, and I hope that proves useful. Thank you.